ungratefulness and discontentment can quickly grow into something destructive if left unchecked. This we see in the story of the women of Troy, as they are led by Aeneas toward the land of Italy. This was the new home that the gods had promised them after their city was destroyed in the fall of Troy. Here, their line would grow into a powerful people, marked out by the gods for greatness. But the journey to reach it would be fraught with danger, and they would need to be bold and faithful to endure it. Although their destination was brilliant and wonderful, some were distracted by the hardships that the journey entailed. So it was with most of the Trojan women. Our story begins on the shores of Sicily. It was on this island that the Trojans moored their boats. Here Aeneas' father, Anchises, had been buried the year before, and now the time had come to conduct the various funeral rites. The women of Troy had gathered on the shores of Sicily to mourn Anchises, but they quickly fell to mourning their own fates instead. It had been nearly 7 years since they left the ruins of Troy, and Italy seemed farther away than ever. They cried out, complaining and wailing of woe. How much longer? Where is our city? If only we were still in Troy. Unbeknownst to them, the sound of their complaints reaches the ears of their most powerful enemy. Juno, the goddess wife of Jupiter, had hated the Trojans ever since the events of the Trojan War, and she despised Aeneas. She had been doing everything in her power to keep them from reaching Italy, even though the fates declared that they most certainly would. She was pacing and scheming in Olympus, the home of the gods, when she heard the sound of the discouraged and emotional Trojan women. I know just what to do, she declared to herself. Juno sends Iris, the messenger of the gods, in amongst the women, rushing her down a rainbow with impatient gusts of divine wind. Iris easily infiltrates the group of distracted women, disguising herself as one of them as she does so. Working herself well into their crowd, Iris opens her mouth and joins in on their woes. If only we had died when the Greeks destroyed our city. The gods have forgotten us. Why should we listen to them? Look at the misery their plan has caused. Then look at me. I have a better plan. Iris urges them to build a city here on Sicily, not journey on to the promised land. She even tells them that they should burn the ships so that all the Trojans have to settle here. For a moment, the women are torn. They love the land they stand on now, but the promise of Italy is still looming, still beckoning in the distance. As if sensing their hesitation, Iris bursts out in her full splendor, startling them into a frenzy. They rampage, tearing flaming chunks from burning altars that had been appointed for Anchises' funeral rites, and hurl them madly at the hated ships. Flames and chaos roar as the ships catch fire and the women join together in a fearsome cry. The men are up near Anchises' tomb, but the commotion at the shore quickly draws their attention. One man jumps on his horse and gallops frantically over, trailed by a stampede of anxious Trojans. When he arrives at the scene, he shouts wildly, "What are you doing? These are your own hopes, your own future that you're burning." As the men rush to put out the fire, the women scatter in shame. They hide themselves away from the light of day, in the forests, the caves, anywhere they can find. They realize what they've done, and it shocks them with guilt. All the efforts of the men are wasted. Fire rages through their ships. Flames soar higher and higher with each passing second. They run frantically here and there, distraught. Then Aeneas cries out to Jupiter. He calls upon the power and favor of his god. Suddenly, the sky is filled with thick clouds, and a flood of more water than ever imaginable pours over their ships and quenches the flames. Though charred and depleted, their fleet is saved. Aeneas is unsure of what to do next. He feels discouraged and confused. However, his friends give him counsel. He feels the gods' approval of his decision. He leaves those who are sick of the sea and hate the journey on Sicily to build a new Troy-like city. This includes almost all of the Trojan women and many others as well. As the ships sail away, the men and women who had just been complaining of the sea and its dangers now long to be in exile again, that they might see the promised land. They raise a loud cry, lamenting their impulsive, wicked decision and their lost inheritance. The Bible says that our enemy, the devil, is crouching at our doors, pacing like an angry lion and waiting to devour us. He hates us and wants to destroy us. He wants to turn us away from the good plans that God has made for us. When we complain about God's good plans and hate the plans that he has made and the places that he has put us in, it leaves us vulnerable to the enemy. Philippians 2:14 and 15 says, "Do all without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent, children of God without blemish, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world." I encourage you today to trust God's plans through the hardships of your life and to serve without complaint. Because when you act with compassion and willing obedience, you declare the love and greatness of God to the world. Thank you.